Minimum makeup, maximum impact. This philosophy has been created and developed by New York City-based professional makeup artist Ramy Gafny, whose work has also been seen on national television shows, including The Oprah Winfrey Show, E! Entertainment, Television's Fashion File, and Entertainment Tonight. Ramy's looks have also graced the runways of recognizable fashion shows such as Valentino and XOXO. According to his philosophy, if you select the correct color palette to enhance your features and apply it correctly, you can look younger and more beautiful with a minimum of products and effort. This viewpoint keeps Ramy busy, as he continues to see clients while working on the development of the Ramy Beauty Therapy product collection. His ability to select optimum colors for each individual, as well as dramatically lift the eye with his gift for eyebrow shaping, has been written up in the pages of every major fashion and beauty magazine, such as Vogue, Allure, People Magazine, Glamour, Self, and Town & Country. Clients include Naomi Campbell, Faith Hill, and Deborah Messing. His line of cosmetics is sold nationwide, and Ramy Spa is located in Manhattan, where he lives with his cat Arlo.
Minimum makeup, maximum impact. Everyone is beautiful in their own way. The beauty equation is very simple. Everyone has features they want to play up and features they want to play down. I'm Ramy Gafny, New York City-based makeup artist and creator of Ramy Beauty Therapy Cosmetics. Today I'm going to show you the tricks of minimum makeup, maximum impact. Women ask me all the time how to create a look seen on celebrities, on television, on the runway. I'm going to show you how to create these looks and create a signature look for yourself using minimum makeup for maximum impact. Hi, I'm here with Ray Dawn, who is going to her prom soon and wanted to see some prom makeup, some options for prom makeup. And that's what we're going to show you today. So you're going to the prom?
Yes, my dress is lavender, and I've never worn makeup before because my mom doesn't allow it. But today, you know, because it's a special day, I'm allowed to wear it. And I want to look like Vanessa Williams.
Okay, so Vanessa Williams going to the prom.
Yes.
Okay, what I'll do is show you, since you haven't worn makeup before, you do have permission to wear makeup for the prom, though?
I do.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna show you a very natural makeup, and then show you how to amp it up if you want to go for full-on glamour. That way you can decide what you like and what you don't like.
Okay.
First, we're gonna start with a little Miracle Matte Anti-Shine Lotion. This will keep you matte all evening and help the makeup go on smoother and wear longer.
Do you suggest bronzer for me?
We could definitely. I mean, you have beautiful blue eyes. Bronzer would give you a very healthy, glowy look, and certainly more in line with the Vanessa Williams look. Would you like to do bronzer?
Definitely.
Okay, so we'll definitely add bronzer into the mix. First thing I'm doing is a little concealer around the eyes.
What does that do?
This just basically gets rid of redness, dark circles, brings the eyes forward, and any makeup you put on, it'll act as a base for your makeup.
Okay. Will everything last, like, through the whole evening?
Yes, one of the things I'm doing is we're gonna layer the makeup.
Okay.
So that everything is layered, it wears a lot longer. And also my formulas really are pretty long wearing.
I like it, it feels smooth.
Thank you. Take a look in the big mirror. You can see the difference already.
Oh my gosh.
How one eye has concealer on and you can really see her eye, and the other eye does not have concealer, and you can see a little bit of redness around the eye, a little bit of darkness. I always say concealer is our friend. There's, you know, everyone can benefit from a little bit of concealer. So we're going to do the other eye now. Now this is the Sun Smooched bronzer.
Okay.
And I actually have the medium Sun Smooched bronzer on myself. It looks very natural. It really does. It gives a very healthy glow to the skin. It comes in light, medium, or dark. And I'm going to do the medium on you because, like myself, you have a slightly golden complexion. The medium happens to be my favorite. You can really layer them as well. So in other words, like if you can layer on the 2 coats of light equals medium, 2 layers of medium is the dark, and so on, and 2 of the dark is very dark. So you want the medium. You want to look a little bit more tan, a little healthy and glowy, but you don't want to go like too tan. You want to look like a little glowy and golden like Vanessa Williams, but you don't want to look like an Oompa Loompa, you know, like you don't want to look orange. The nice thing about a bronzer is that it's you can control the color. It's not a self-tanner. Self-tanner you apply and then it gets darker you know, in the next hour or a couple of hours, and you don't know what you're going to end up with. I mean, unless you've used it before, you know, it's a little bit risky. With a bronzer, you can see exactly how much color you're getting right away. It's not going to get any darker.
Okay.
And you can layer on as much color as you'd like.
I like it.
Thanks.
I look like I've been in the sun for a little while.
That's the idea.
I can wear this every day.
Absolutely. It's really good for the skin. It's got green tea, green apple, sugar cane, citrus, extracts, different nut extracts like pecan, almond, and walnut,
Okay.
which I believe is where the color comes from. And it's actually very good for the skin. It helps dry up blemishes, keep the skin nice and even.
That's what I was going to ask you, because sometimes I break out and I have like breakouts right around here.
Well, you definitely want to use things that are skin friendly, that aren't going to aggravate the situation, and that will, if anything, help the situation.
Okay.
Okay. So this is just like a little bit. You can add more if you like, but you don't need to.
I like it.
Thanks. And now we're going to do a little foundation on top of this.
Okay.
And since we have the bronzer on, usually I would use the Diva Creme Fresh on you, which is the lightest color. Since we've used the bronzer, I'm going to go a shade deeper,
Okay.
which is Porcelain Doll. If you've never worn makeup before, you'll like this because it's a liquid powder.
I like the way it feels.
Yeah, it's very, very light on the skin, but it gives really good coverage. So you can get the coverage you want without feeling like, oh, I'm wearing this heavy mask of foundation or makeup.
My pimple marks are gone.
And this is also an oil-free formula, actually, which is also, it's silicone-based, which will help dry blemishes, too. And it has vitamins A and D in it, which are also good for the skin. Okay, great. Beautiful.
Nice.
See, just very, very flawless. Now, your brows, I would recommend growing them in as much as possible before the prom, and then getting them done, you know, getting them shaped professionally right before the prom.
Okay.
They're a little bit skimpy. Right now, there are a few little gappy areas, so I'm going to show you how to fill it in.
Okay. I got overboard plucking.
Okay, that's the worst. Yeah, never do it when you're in a hurry or when you're just bored and restless, because you end up with, you know, overdone eyebrows. So I'm going to use this color since your hair is dark. I'm going to use the color called Perfect. It's kind of a brown black, and it's a little more dramatic than the Miracle Brow. But in your case, I think it's going to really match your hair color very well.
Do you think that I can do that by myself?
Yes. You just see what I just did. I just went right over the entire eyebrow, and now we're going to brush it through.
Okay.
And that kind of helps it bleed out a little bit and kind of removes the excess and blends it, so you're left with a great looking brow, not a made up looking brow. And I tell people, put it where your eyebrow is or where you want it to be. Since we're just filling in the little gaps, you just want to go right over the brow. Nothing, you don't have to get too creative with it. So I just want you to face the audience and show one side is filled and the other side is not. And you can see the difference on the brows already. This is the sort of thing that, of course, it looks great in person, but in photos, for example, the event like your prom, having the brow filled makes such a dramatic difference. It's truly the difference between just looking, you know, pretty and okay and looking really fantastic in photos. And we're going to fill the other brow, and then we're going to brush it through. Great.
Love it.
Thank you. And actually, while I have the perfect eye wand that we just used to fill your eyebrows, while I have it in my hand, I'm going to apply your eyeliner. I'm going to use the same color as an eyeliner.
Oh, cool.
And you have really beautiful eyes. They're very almond shaped, and you have beautiful blue color. So we definitely want to play up your eyes. And I'm extending the perfect eyeliner a little past the outer eye, making it very glamorous looking. Open.
Oh, I like it.
Thanks. If you want to take a look. We've done the eyeliner on the upper lash line on one eye, and you can see it's just very glamorous, very beautiful, really emphasizing the shape of her eye, which is very exotic, actually. Open. Okay. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Very exotic.
I love how you did that.
Thank you. So I'm going to use the color on the crease of the eye a little bit.
What does that do? Like,
This basically defines the shape of your eye. It's creating a little depth.
oh, okay.
See, take a look.
Oh, yeah.
You see that? And we're going to blend this out, but I want the audience to see this as well. You see, we put the neutral shadow from the perfect eye one just on the crease of her eye to create depth. We're going to add color to this and blend it in, so it's not going to look quite so severe, but it creates a really beautiful effect on the eye. Great. Very
Like
nice.
it.
Thank you. And we're going to add a little mascara to the upper lash line. Look straight across. And you really want the lashes to be flirty and fun, so you can do a couple of coats of mascara just on the upper lashes. And focus a little bit extra on the outer lashes. In your case, since your eyes are already so elongated, I'm going to do a little bit extra in the center of the eye to really open up the eye.
Okay. Do you do the bottom lashes too?
I usually do not. You're young enough at the prom that you could do it on the bottom, but we want to make your eyes look as big as possible. Oops, I think I smudged you a little on top. Concealer is a great eraser. If you do make a mistake with your makeup, you can always do a little concealer to just clean it up, and that way you don't have to take everything off and start up again.
Cool.
Okay, and so we've done mascara. Great, eyes look great. And I want to do a color on the lower lash line. If you wanted to keep it really neutral, you can do a color like this called Neutral Impact.
Okay.
And this, you can see, is kind of a sable-y taupe color. But if you want to play up your eye color a little bit more, you can go with a warmer color like Defining Moment, which is kind of a terracotta color. The warmer color will always bring out the blue or green in your eyes, whereas Neutral Impact is more neutral. You want the one to make the eyes look brighter? Okay. And I'm going to apply this dry with a little eye detailer brush, the sable angled brush. And we're going to use this as a liner on your lower lash line. Look up. See the difference?
Oh, I love it.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
Now, if you want to take a look here, you see one side she has the Defining Moment on her lower lash line. It really defines her eyes and brings out her eye color. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I always do a lighter colored liner on the lower lash line and darker on top. If you do the same dark color that she has on her upper lash line on the lower lash line, it closes up the eye and makes it look really small. So if you are going to line the lower lash line, always use a color that's lighter than what's on the upper lash line. It's a little trick, but it makes a really big difference. If you don't want to make or can't make a perfect line yourself using a brush, make it a little smudgy. If you smudge it, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can just take the brush and just kind of make like a little bit of a smudgy effect on it. It kind of, some people call this a little bit smoky. What it does is it makes the line not like a perfect hard line, and it's a really nice effect actually. It makes the eyes look big too. Very pretty. You could also use this color if you want to emphasize the color on the lid on top of where we put the perfect eye wand color. You can take a brush and just, close please, add an extra layer in here.
In the crease?
Yes, right in the crease, right on top of the other color. You're mixing them together, and again, this will make the blue eyes a little bluer. It makes the whole effect a little bit more dramatic. And you'll notice we used a brownish color. We're using kind of earth tones so far, even though your dress is lavender. You could do warm earth tones on the eyes and then add like a lavender lip gloss or lipstick. Okay. But we are going to add lavender to the eyes as well. I just wanted to point out that you don't have to do, oh, I'm wearing a lavender dress, let me just use purples and lavenders and pinks on the face, right? You still want to use colors that are the best colors for your features. And it's all about blending.
I love how dramatic it looks so far.
If you did feel that it was a little too dark, you could always take a little translucent powder and just go over it with the translucent powder.
Okay.
And that also, you know, just softens up the colors.
I love it.
Now we're going to add that lavender color I was telling you about.
Okay.
And we're going to use the Don't Waste My Time Cream Quad. This is like our plum and lavender family of colors.
That's like the exact color of my dress.
This lavender?
Yes.
Okay, great. So that we're definitely going to use that.
Okay.
When I told you that I was going to do like a soft makeup and then amp it up for an extra glamorous look, this is what's going to amp it up for an extra glamorous look.
Okay.
So since we've kind of opted to do that, you like the drama, so we're definitely going to use it. I'm going to do a little bit of the deeper plum on your eyelid. And that's going to blend everything together with the eyeshadow. It doesn't go on as dark as you would think. And you'll notice I'm using my finger, which is just very fast and easy. Open. Ooh, very pretty. And you notice your eyelids now look enormous, whereas when we started, you didn't really look like you had much of an eyelid. You had a lot of space in the eye, but there wasn't a lot of depth.
Right.
And we've really created beautiful depth there now. And I'm going to use the lighter lavender color right on top of this to highlight it. A little under the brow bone. Take a look.
Nice.
You want to see the camera? So one eye has the cream quad. On the eyelid, we use the dark plum, and then I put a little bit of the light lavender, which is the same color as your dress, right on top of the plum, and a little bit under the brow bone. And you can see it's just very dramatic. It looks like you've spent a lot of time doing your eye makeup, but really it's very fast and easy. Now let's get the other eye to look just like it. Open. Beautiful.
I like it.
Thank you. And we're going to do a little bit of blush. I'm going to do the pink blush on you. Also, sometimes before I do blush, I should have done this before I applied the blush, you could take a little concealer and just dab a little bit right under the eyes, like so. What this does is it cleans up any makeup that might have fallen under the eye, like any eyeshadow or eyeliner or anything. And it also highlights the eye. So even if makeup didn't fall down here, it just cleans up the area and highlights it. And it really makes the eyes jump at you, and it looks great in pictures as well.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I'm going to touch up a little bit of blush on you.
Okay.
And you just want a sheer wash of color on the cheeks. You don't want it to look like, look, I'm wearing blush. You know, you don't want heavy streaks of color. And then you can also highlight the cheeks a little bit with the white color from the cream quad, which is great for emphasizing bone structure and giving you that sort of dewy effect on your skin, just very high up on the cheeks.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, it's great, and it'll show up in pictures too, which is really pretty. And then for the lips, I'm going to do the Shore Leave lip gloss, which is it's like a pinkish lavender color, so it kind of pulls the whole look together, and it still happens to also be a really great color for you. I usually do, when I do lipstick, I do the lipstick first and then the pencil, but because it's a gloss, I'm going to do the pencil first.
Does that help it stay on?
It does. I'm actually going to line the lip, outline the lips first with the laugh line lip pencil. It's kind of like a spicy nude color. And then we're going to fill in the lip a little bit with the pencil too. Light shimmery colors will always make it look a little extra pouty. And now a little of the Shore Leave lip gloss.
Okay.
And lip gloss is great because you can retouch if you need to you don't even need a mirror, you can just slap on the lip gloss and go, yeah, this is a great color in you. What do you think?
I love it.
Thank you. And that is a very, very complete look. So we're going to show you today how to make the lips look fuller. contouring a little bit your features and the best colored eyeshadows for your color eyes.
You could really pump up my lips. I've always wondered how to actually make my lips look fuller.
Yep, you can do it without injections, just using makeup, and it's just a few simple steps.
Okay, great.
Okay, so let's get started. We're actually going to start with the lips first, because I really want to just illustrate the lips without any makeup on the rest of your face. So the key to doing a fuller lip is to use light, shimmery colors. Usually I do lip color first. Sometimes with a gloss I'll do the lip pencil first, but in this case I'm going to do the lip color first. So you get a softer line with the pencil and you can see exactly how you need to contour. So this is a color called Shore Leave, and it's a very light neutral color, and it's a little bit shimmery and it's a little glossy. Shimmer and gloss, anything that reflects light will make the lip look fuller. And I fill the lip line staying in what I call the realm of reality. Like we're filling it with an eye towards fullness, but staying on the lip line. We're not drawing the lips up to your nostrils. And I'm using a pencil that's just a little bit deeper than the lip color.
Oh, wow, that looks great.
Thank you.
Definitely works.
Using a lip brush, I'm going to add a little highlighter to the center of the lips. And I'm going to use the Shiksa Face Gloss. It's a light, very pale pink, shimmery color. And I do this just in the center of your lower lip. And this makes the lip a little poutier, a little fuller. And blend your lips together. And there you go.
Wow.
Very full. Okay, now that we've done that, let's contour a little bit. We're going to start with a little concealer around the eyes. And I'm just blending it in with my finger the same way you would an eye moisturizer. It's almost like a very pigmented eye moisturizer. And we're going to set this with a little bit of translucent powder just so it stays put, and any makeup you put on top of it will stay put as well. A little foundation. So now we've got flawless complexion, no dark circles, and full lips. Okay, and from here we're going to contour a little bit. I'm going to do my Alive blush, very neutral, warm earth tone. This is also a great shadow color for your eye color, which are sort of blue-green, definitely in the light category. And warm earth tones contrasting with the blue-green are really what bring out your eye color. And you can see we've just added some definition to the cheeks. We're going to apply it on the eyes with the blush brush in a quick, simple step. And this is instead of eyeshadow, you can just, it's a great day look to just do just on its own, or you can add more to it. A little bit along the hairline. I'm going to show you on your nose also to contour a little bit. You can do a little bit on the side of the nose, and it just makes the nose look a little bit straighter. And the old school used to use really dark colors and brown on the sides to contour, and they'd blend it out. And that's really very old school makeup. You can do the same concept of creating depth or light using a highlighter or something, a warm earth tone to create depth to contour without doing heavy colors, just in a very subtle way. And now I'm going to show you a highlighter to create light. And we can use the Innocent Beauty Cream Quad. It's all light shimmers.
Pretty colors.
Thank you. And you can mix and match. The gold color is really pretty on the eyes. Pinks, kind of peachy tones. I'm going to use the peachy tone on your cheeks to highlight. And that's going to be the second part of contouring. We're creating light now. It's reflecting the light. So between this and the blush we used, you've contoured your cheeks. A little contour. And on the eyes, we can use the gold on the eyes to make the eyes look really big and pop. It's all about light and shadow. And then we can take a little more of the Alive blush. And I'm just blending out over the cream with the powder blush again so there are no lines of demarcation. A little bit on the eyes also.
Wow, looks great.
Thank you. And we're going to add a little mascara just for kicks.
What color mascara do you usually use?
Because I only apply mascara to the upper lash line, I usually use black, an absolute black color. Because if you're applying it just to the top, you don't have to worry about it being too dark or overly dramatic. I only apply mascara to the upper lashes because if you apply it to the lower lashes, it visually drags the eyes down. And every complaint I've ever heard about mascara was alleviated by not using mascara, not applying it to the lower lash line. So here's Melissa contoured, very subtle, very natural, quick makeup. We perfected her complexion with a little concealer and foundation. Added a very neutral blush to the cheeks, the eyes, the sides of her nose, a little along the hairline, and then used a highlighter, a cream shimmer on the cheeks, high up on the cheekbones to play up her bone structure, a little bit in the center of the nose, and on the eyelids and under the brow bone. And with her fuller lips, she is ready for anything. I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'm going to show you how to make your eyes look bigger, and I'm going to show you how to contour your cheekbones.
Oh, great.
Okay, so very simple steps, but very dramatic effects. So we're going to start with, I'm just going to do a little concealer around the eyes and a little foundation just to create the canvas.
Okay.
All around the whole eye area. Okay, so we've applied concealer all around your whole eye area on both eyes, and that just really brings the eyes forward, covers up dark circles, redness, and we're going to set it with a little bit of Pure Radiance pressed powder, just a completely translucent powder. And then we're going to do a little foundation just to even out your complexion. And we're just blending in the foundation. I applied it to the 5 points of the face, the chin, each cheek, the nose, and the forehead, and I'm just blending it out from there. See? An instant flawless complexion. Yeah. And now we're going to make your eyes look bigger. That's our first step. First we're going to use Miracle Brow on the eyebrow. It's like a pencil and a powder, and the reason I'm filling in your eyebrow is, one is to warm up the color, and the other reason is to make the brow a little more dramatic, because with a bigger frame the eyes look bigger. And then whatever you put on your eyebrows, you always want to brush it through to blend it. So you're left with a great looking brow, not a made up looking brow.
Wow.
And if you feel like, if you do fill in your eyebrows and if you feel it's a little too dramatic, a little too dark, you can always add a little translucent powder on top, and that just takes the edge off of the color and just makes it look again like a more natural brow. We are going to do the Defining Moment eyeshadow. It's like a terracotta, very neutral shade. With an eyeshadow brush, I use the edge of the eyeshadow brush, and close your eyes. I'm going to put it on the crease of your eye. And by making it just on the crease of the eye, your lids look bigger and the eye looks more defined. And then we blend it out. And again, I'm just applying it to the crease and blending it out. And we're going to do eyeliner on the upper lash line only. We're going to use the Perfect eyeliner, which is called Perfect because it's not brown, it's not black, it's the perfectly neutral mahogany color. I moisten the brush a little bit with water, and that just gives the liner extra staying power. And by doing a darker line on the upper lash line, just a fine line, it's really going to make the eye look much bigger. Take a look. You see how defined and lifted the eye looks? And for the same reason that I'm doing just liner on the upper lash line, we're going to do mascara just on the upper lash line too. I'm going to take a little blush and blend in on top of the eyeshadow. Just a very neutral glowy blush, and it's just going to blend in the shadow and make it look softer. I'm going to do a little mascara on the upper lash line. Again, I'm using an absolute black color. Look straight across. Usually, if I was trying to make eyes look as big as possible, if the lashes weren't already going in the right direction, I would use an eyelash curler before applying mascara. But your lashes are all already kind of curling in the right direction, so we're doing just mascara. And I always do a little extra coat on the outer lashes. That makes the eyes look really big. And then another little trick you can do is to draw a very light colored pencil on the inner rim of your lower lash line. And that extends the whites of your eyes and makes your eyes look a little bigger as well. When using a pencil, especially on the inner rim of the eye, even if the pencil doesn't need sharpening, it's always a good idea to sharpen it a little bit, just to get rid of any schmutz or dirt that might be on the pencil. It's just a good hygiene practice. By applying it on the inner rim of the eye, again, you're just making the eye look a little bit bigger. Take a look in the mirror. Now, if you wanted some definition, you can also line along the lash line on the lower lash line. Do a little bit of like a liner, but I'm using a real true brown color, which is lighter than the liner you have on the upper lash line. Because if I use the same color liner that I have on top, it's going to close up the eye and make it look very tiny. Using a lighter color on the bottom, darker on top, always keeps the eye open. One of the most common mistakes I see is when people use liner on the lower lash line and nothing on the upper lash line, and that just again visually drags the eyes down. Nice. And then if you want to boost the eye size a little bit more, you can use a light colored highlighter. Anything white, pale pink, and this is called the Don't Waste My Time Cream Quad. And the white in this color is a really true white, so it's a really great highlighter. And putting this on your lid will make your eyes look enormous. Also by your tear duct, because that's where people tend to be darkest. So if you do a little bit of highlighter there, it really, really opens up the eyes and wakes up your whole look. Take a look.
Wow, Ramy. Big
That's
difference.
a really big difference, yeah. I'm using also, you have brown eyes. We're using earth tones, neutrals. You could use colors like gray, browns, and they'll all look good on you. Since I have this in my hand already, I'm going to show you how to highlight the cheeks with this as well, to contour your cheeks. Sometimes I do color first, other times I do the highlight first. So in this case, since we have it in our hand already, we'll do the highlight first, high up on the cheeks, so that when the light hits you, they're really seeing your bone structure. We're going to add a little bit of hint of a tint. This is the color. It's going to add a little depth. It's kind of a deep rosy color, but when you blend it out, it's a very natural rosy flush of color, and your skin is very gold, so breaking it up with a little rosiness is always nice. And this is creating depth under your cheekbone. This is a gloss, and the lip pencil is right in the cap.
How convenient.
Isn't that cute? And so we're going to do the gloss first, and then add a little lip pencil just for definition. And then once the color is applied, you can see exactly where you need the pencil.
That's
Wow.
great, Ramy.
Thank you. Today I'm going to show you the Fresh Day look with Jill, who is a longtime friend and client of mine, and who doesn't need a lot of makeup. So she's a great model for the minimum makeup, maximum impact philosophy. And right now you have no makeup on, right?
Right.
And still look pretty good. I want the camera to see you. And as you can see, Jill has pretty nice skin and great features. So she really doesn't need a lot of makeup, but she likes to perfect her complexion and play up her features in a very subtle, natural way. And again, that's why she's a great example for the Fresh Day look, which is what we're going to do. I'm going to start a little bit with the Elixir Skin Conditioning Primer. And this just makes the skin smoother, it reduces redness, any puffiness. It's a Monday morning today, and we can all use a little boost on Monday mornings. Okay, we'll just let that set for a moment. And we're going to do concealer all around the whole eye area. Lash line to brow bone too. Most people put concealer just under the half moon under the eye, and that you know, it definitely is a good thing to do. But I also put the concealer from lash line to brow bone. And I'm using my skin stick, which is very moisturizing. It has vitamin A, C, E, K, and rose extract. So it's like applying an eye moisturizer and a concealer in one simple step. And if you want to just show the camera, you can see one eye with concealer and one eye without, and what a difference it makes. It really brightens up the whole eye area. And it's also going to act as a primer for any eye makeup we do. Okay, look at me. Okay, so I'm just finishing up a little concealer on your other eye. And I'm going to set that with a little bit of powder, Pure Radiance pressed powder. And the powder sets the concealer, and also it gives something for, like if we use a powder eyeshadow, it gives something for other makeup to adhere to. And a lot of times people ask me, or they'll tell me that their makeup doesn't last throughout the day, like they'll apply it, and then by lunchtime they feel like they need to reapply everything. And I always ask, have you set your makeup with powder? And often they say no. And so setting it with powder really makes a difference. It can really help the makeup stay on a lot longer. And you use Porcelain Doll, if I'm not mistaken, or do you use Diva Creme Fresh?
Porcelain Doll.
You do, okay. So this is the liquid powder foundation. You can just blend it in with your fingers. You can feel it's really light, but it really perfects the complexion. It really gives great coverage. And you can also, if you're having like what I call a good skin day and you don't feel like you want to wear foundation, but you might have a little redness like around the nose or the chin, you can apply it just where you need it.
Do you have to set this with powder too?
Nope, this actually dries to a micronized powder finish. So most foundations, liquid foundations, you do need to set with powder. This one is sort of self-setting. It's kind of like foundation and powder in one product. And it's all about blending it out. Okay. Beautiful.
Nice.
So we've perfected your complexion. And again, if you just want to show the audience. And some people, when they apply foundation, if they're not used to wearing foundation, they always say, oh, I feel like a ghost, I feel really pale. You can tell this is the correct color for Jill because I didn't take it down into her neckline, past her jawline, and you can see you can't tell where the foundation ends. So it's the right color for her. And if you do feel a little ghostly or pale, it's because you're not used to seeing your complexion without redness or darkness or spots. And once we apply other makeup like blush, for example, you won't have that pale finish, and you'll see that it just looks like great skin. Okay, and the first thing we're going to do is fill in your eyebrows with a little Miracle Brow. And this is like a pencil and a powder melted in a gel base. And I know you're very familiar with the Miracle Brow. And I tell people, put it where your eyebrow is or where you'd like it to be. And then you brush it through at the other end of the brush. You can follow this up with a little bit of translucent powder too if you want to blend it in or soften the color a little bit. Great. And that just looks like a beautiful eyebrow as opposed to a made-up looking eyebrow. And again, if you just want to show the audience the difference, one brow is really dramatic but looks perfect, and the other one is not so much. And it's a neutral color that works on most hair colors, which is really nice, so it's kind of a no-brainer. You don't have to worry about, am I using the right color or not? As long as you're using a color that's a little bit lighter than your own hair color, it should be fine. The most common mistake is using something that's too dark, which just looks heavy and artificial. Whether you're using a pencil or powder or something like Miracle Brow, which is like a pomade, you always want to brush it through so that it looks natural and not heavy. Great, that looks beautiful.
Thanks.
And now we're going to line your eye a little bit. And this is the perfect eye wand. Close, please. It's a very neutral brown-black color. And lining the upper lash line really can make the eyes look really big and defined. And it makes such a dramatic difference. I always tell people you can even skip eyeshadow and just do a little bit of eyeliner and mascara, and it's like instant glamour. See the difference with one of her eyes lined? You know, on one side she just looks really doe-eyed, and it really plays up the beautiful shape of her eyes. And it's just one simple step with eyeliner. What I want to do on this side, before I line the other eye, I want to show you the other end of this pen, which is a neutral eyeshadow. And we're going to draw it right on the crease of the eye and just blend it in. For the Fresh Day look, we're just drawing it right on the crease of the eye and blending it out a little bit. Open, please. See how defined that eye looks? And again, if you want to show the camera, we've just done the shadow on the crease of the eye and the liner end along the upper lash line. And that's really all she needs. I mean, she really looks beautiful. And now we'll catch up on this eye. The art of makeup is really the art of blending. You always want people to notice you, not your makeup, so you really want to blend out any makeup you're applying. Beautiful. Yeah. We're going to add a little mascara, one-stop shopping mascara, just to the upper lash line. And your lashes are all curling in the right direction. This is a curling and thickening mascara, so it's going to help push them along in the right direction, but there's no need to curl. To use an eyelash curler. And I always focus a little extra mascara on the outer eye because that further lifts and opens up the eye. And I'm using an absolute black color. If you're applying mascara on the upper lash line, using black is fine. I used to recommend brown if someone was blonde or had light brown hair. But again, if you're just applying it on the upper lash line, you can use an absolute black color. I never apply mascara on the lower lash line unless I'm doing something editorial which requires it. But usually every complaint I've ever heard about mascara is alleviated by not applying it on the lower lash line. And also, again, it further lifts and opens up the eye to do it just on top. For the Fresh Day look, I mixed 2 blushes. Now, you don't have to mix 2 blushes. You can use just 1 blush. If I were to use 1 blush, really you can use either one of these colors. One is the Alive blush, which is like a very tawny color, and it's great for bringing out, like if you have green or blue or hazel eyes, like you have hazel eyes, it really brings out the green in your eyes. But if you want to add a fresh pop of color, you can use the Bitch Slap blush. Sorry about the scandalous name. But what I'm going to do is combine them because that's a really glowy effect. And let me pull out the blush brush. First I do the Alive, if you want to smile for me, from the apple of the cheeks straight up to the hairline. And it gives a very healthy, glowy look. It's almost like a nude bronzer. In a pinch, if you're not using the perfect eye wand, you can take the blush brush, close please, and sweep this across your eyes also. I'm putting it on top of your eyeshadow because it's just really going to blend everything together and give a very glowy effect to the eye. Again, if you want to look at the camera, you can see she's got the blush on both cheeks and across one eye, and you can see the difference compared to her other eye, how much more alive this side with the Alive looks. And we'll add some here. And I always like to take a little bit of the Alive blush and just go a little bit along the hairline. And this just gives like an overall glow to the face. And she already looks really fresh and perfect. I mean, if you really wanted to just put on a little lip gloss and go, you totally could. You look really, finished and beautiful. But we're going to amp it up a little more. I'm going to take the same brush and smile big, and I'm going to do a little bit of the Bitch Slap brush just on the apples of your cheek.
Is that why you have me smile, just to find the apples?
Yes, exactly. Right, just right where the circle is, right here, is where the apple of your cheek is. I did have a woman recently who told me like she'd been hearing that for years to apply blush from the apple of the cheek upwards, and she said it took her like 3 years to figure out where exactly the apple was. And so it's a good question because I'm sure a lot of people don't know. Then close your eyes, please. I'm going to take a little bit of the Bitch Slap and put it just across the eyelid. To me, this is what adds the fresh to the Fresh Day look, is this pop of pink color. It just gives you a very fresh-faced, beautiful look. You look like you just maybe ran up a flight of stairs and got a little bit flushed, and it's really a very clean, beautiful look. And again, I just want the audience to see it and appreciate it. And then I want to show you lips. And for lips, we can do something like the tulips in Kiss and Tell. And this has the pencil in the cap, so you know that it always matches the color. And I'm going to line your lips. When I do lipstick, I often do lipstick first and then pencil. But sometimes with a glossier formula, I'll line the lips first and then do the gloss. And you can also fill your lips a little bit with the pencil if you want to have a longer wearing effect. Smile. Just getting a little pencil in the center. As you can see, this is very much like your own lip color punched up a little bit. It's kind of a nude pencil. And this is like a berry shimmer, the Kiss and Tell. Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. This is the Fresh Day look. And there are many ways to amp it up. We could add a face gloss to her eyes and cheeks and lips if we wanted to amp up the look, or add a glossy shimmer to her features. It's something she can do if she's going out after work at the end of the day and she wants to amp up the Fresh Day look. You can add a product like the Shiksa face gloss. Just finger it onto your eyes, cheeks, and lips and go. It's like a really fast, easy way to wear makeup. You look natural and healthy and beautiful, and what more do you need?
Thank you.
My pleasure. Ashley she's an actress, and so she's always going to really fun events and fabulous events, actually, and always likes to look her best. And so I've done her makeup on many, many occasions. So we always do the same classic routine when Ashley wants to just look her best, and it's sort of a look that goes, works for any occasion. And I call it the classic day face. And then we'll show how to take the classic day face into evening as though you're going to a fabulous event. Let's start with the moisturizer. We're going to start with the Ultimate Therapy Cream, which is my kind of all-in-one moisturizer. And this has 2% salicylic acid also to dry blemishes, as you know. And we're going to add a little concealer into the mix. And again, I do concealer all around the whole eye area to really bring the eyes forward. Open. Great, wow.
Big difference.
What a difference. Let's show the audience. You can see one eye. Ashley has concealer on around one eye and not the other. And you can see what a difference, how it brings the eyes forward and really primes your eye for makeup. And also acts as a primer so that your makeup will go on smoother and wear longer. Often people come back after a makeup lesson and they'll say, the eye makeup just doesn't look the same as when I do it. And I'll ask them if they're using concealer and they say no. And, the concealer really creates a canvas for eye makeup so that the colors look truer, and it obviously conceals dark circles and redness. So it really is a key product to use when doing a makeup application. It really makes all the difference, concealer. Great. And I'm going to fill in your brows before I do the foundation because I like to set the foundation and concealer at the same time. We're going to do the Miracle Brow, which is like a pencil and a powder, melted in a gel base, and fill in the eyebrows to make them look a little more dramatic. Great.
Such a difference.
Yeah, it really makes a difference. Let's show the camera as well. You can see the Miracle Brow on one side of Ashley's face and not on the other. And you can see what a difference it makes and how the eyebrows really do frame the face. And so filling them in and making them look a little bit more dramatic and full can really make a big difference. So let's get the other brow done as well. And I tell people, put it where your eyebrow is or where you want it to be, and your brows are well shaped. And then we're gonna go over the whole thing with a little powder. Thank you. Yeah, that really does look right. Close your eyes. And the translucent powder takes the edge off the Miracle Brow so it just looks more like real hair. And it sets the concealer so that the concealer stays put, and any other makeup we put on top of it will stay put as well. Great, and now we'll do foundation. So we're gonna do Almond Princess. And this just covers up any imperfections and really leaves with a very flawless finish. You know, I call this beautiful skin in a bottle because it really just gives a very flawless finish without feeling like heavy makeup. You always want people to look at you and go, wow, beautiful eyes or beautiful skin, not what's that color you're wearing or what makeup are you wearing. And I've always felt that my foundation is one of the best things I make because I really don't think there's anything quite like it on the market. Yeah, it looks really great. And I want to do the perfect eyeliner on you. Instead of the pen, I want to use the actual cake liner. Open. Nice. And you can use the liner wet or dry. You can wet the brush a little bit if you want to make the color look a little more dramatic. And you have lash extensions at the moment, so the lashes are already looking really long. It almost looks not quite like false lashes, but it definitely looks like you have mascara on already. I'm going to do just the lightest lick of mascara on top, just to kind of emphasize the lashes a touch more, but you really don't need a lot. Beautiful. Since we're really showing the classic face, I want to do a little bit of golden glow as a base. And usually I would do this before the eyeliner, but it's fine to do the eyeliner first like we just did. And this is just a very golden light color, and it just makes the eyes look really big. Yellow is a very corrective color. And so whenever I have an opportunity to do like an eye color, an eyeshadow as a base color, you'll notice some of them are light pink and some of them are a little more like a banana or gold color. I always opt for the gold color as opposed to the pink because it's more corrective and it makes the eyes look really, really big. Whereas pink can look pretty, but it's just, I don't think it has as much of a, it doesn't have the same qualities as a golden color. It just looks pink on the eye. This yellow is also very good if you have fine lines around the eye, which obviously you don't have an issue with that, but if you did, it's very corrective. It can draw attention away from fine lines. If you have a little redness around the eye, it's also very corrective for that. But even if you don't have those issues, it's just a real eye brightener. And if you just want to take a look at the camera and they can see how bright her eyes look just by adding that golden base. And it's a color that doesn't really draw attention to itself. You don't really see that, you would never look at her and go, oh, she's wearing a golden shadow on her eye. But it really does the job. It really has a very nice, clean effect. A lot of people like just this shadow by itself for during the day because it doesn't look made up. It's a great color to wear like to the office where you just want to look more bright-eyed and polished without looking like you're wearing makeup. Now we're going to add a little of the Plum Loco shadow. Do this on the crease. And this doesn't have to look perfect because you'll see why in a moment. We're going to add something to this to blend in the color so that this application right now doesn't have to be flawless. You can just do it in a very quick way. You can see it doesn't look perfect, the application. I just kind of slap the color on really quickly. I could spend time now, I could spend a few minutes blending it back and forth to make it look more flawless, but if you're in a hurry, you don't need to spend the time doing that, and you'll see why before we finish. And we're gonna use the same color on the lower lash line. And again, you don't want to use the same dark color that you have on the upper lash line on the lower lash line. So this is a softer color. Right. Beautiful. And a little trick that Ashley and I have developed over the years is we take a pencil and go over the lower lash line color. This is the Miracle Brow to Go pencil. It's a true brown color. Look up, please. And I just go right over the Plum Loco. And we do this usually if Ashley knows she's going to have like a long evening or day ahead of her, and she really just wants to ensure that the makeup, that you want the makeup whenever you want to ensure the makeup lasts and that you don't have to give it a second thought. So we go over the powder with a little bit of pencil, and the colors blend really well together, and it just gives a little bit of added assurance that the makeup's not going anywhere. And then I'm going to show you now why you didn't need to blend the Plum Loco on the upper lash line. And we're going to add the hint of a tint in a pot. It's a cream gel blush. We are going to use it on the cheeks, of course, as a blush, but then we're also going to add it to the crease of the eye on top of the Plum Loco and blend everything out. And this gives a very glowy effect to the eye. and it blends out the eyeshadow. Open, please. Beautiful. And I just want to turn you and show the audience. You can see we blended the hint of a tint cream gel on the crease of her eye and blended it out, and now it really looks like a flawless makeup application. If you compare it to the eyeshadow on the other side, it still looks a little rickety, but we're going to apply the hint of a tint to it now and blend that side out as well. Layering on colors and formulas, it tends to help the products really stay put until you're ready to take them off. We're going to add a little bit of the hint of a tint to your cheeks. And we're going to add a little highlighter to this because we always like to highlight Ashley's cheekbones and play up her bone structure. But as you can see, even just by itself, it's just a beautiful sheer wash of color. And by doing just a sheer wash of color, it's making sure that her eyes are still the focal point. I want to add a little bit of highlighter. I'm going to add the white color from the cream quad to your cheeks. This is the Don't Waste My Time cream quad. Beautiful. And again, if you just want to show, and if you want to turn your head a little bit side to side, so the camera can pick up how the light hits your cheekbones with the highlighter on it. It's really pretty. Also, a little photographer's trick is to add a little bit of highlighter right under your lips, like right, if you want to face the camera, right here under your lower lip, in the center under your lower lip, and turn towards me, and then just blend it out a little bit. When the light hits it, it makes the lip look a little poutier and fuller. And you can also do a little bit down the center of your nose, just a touch. You don't want to look greasy or have too much of a reflection here, but you have a really beautiful nose and it's very straight. And this emphasizes the shape of your nose. And if you didn't have a really pretty straight nose and you had like a bump on your nose, a little highlighter down the center also can give the illusion of a straighter nose. So it's just a nice thing to have, and it's also great when being photographed, because again, the light will bounce off of it and just make the lips look a little fuller, make the nose look a little straighter, make the cheekbones pop out a little bit more. So I've always felt like highlighter is the magic ingredient that you can add to any makeup application. Let's do the All His Fault lipstick, because it's a great daytime color. And we're going to do lipstick first and then pencil. And this is a great like brown-based mauve color. And by doing the lipstick first and then applying the pencil, we can see exactly where we need the pencil. And you get a softer line than you would if you were applying the pencil on a dry lip. And once the lipstick is applied, you can also see exactly where you need the lip pencil. Best of all, if you eat something or if you kiss someone, the lip pencil and the lipstick will blend away together instead of leaving you with what I call ring around the lip. And we just blend it in a little bit more. And this is kind of a rich color, but it's great for fall and winter. It's a great daytime look when you want color, but you don't want it to be too vibrant or over the top. Wow, it's great. And this is a very complete classic day look. As you can see, Ashley's skin is perfected. Her eyes are really jumping out at you, look very big and glamorous. Her cheekbones are emphasized a little bit. The lips look fairly dramatic. She's ready for anything during the day. Now, you want to take this day look into evening in a simple step. You can add a face gloss to eyes, cheeks, and lips. You can add like a red gloss to the lips, or even a clear gloss, just to retexturize the lipstick and make it look glossier. That already just gives it more of a glamorous evening look. Or you can add the cream quads also to the eyes, adding more color to the eyes. So we can do any one of these things. I think we like to do the classic beauty cream quad on your eyes. And these are kind of warm earth tones, but they complement the plum tones really well. And I'm going to apply the dark brown color on your eyelid. And again, it looks fairly dramatic, but we're going to blend it out. I'm going to add the tangerine color right on the brown color, right on top, so it gives it a really pretty coppery effect. And then we're going to add again the vanilla kind of white color under the brow bone. Open, please. Oh, that's beautiful, actually. we did the dark brown color right on her eyelid, and then the tangerine color on top, and the vanilla color under the brow bone. And I'm going to do it here, right again, on the other eye. So it looks like a sort of smoky eye that you've spent a lot of time applying, when really it just takes seconds. Yep, that's great. Okay, and take a look again at the camera. So, very complete, very beautiful. You can also take the dark brown shimmery color from the cream quad that we have on her lid. Look up, please. And apply a little bit on the lower lash line. And this just gives a little shimmer to the eye. It looks great on the red carpet. It looks great in photos. Look up again, please. And it's another way to retexturize your makeup to take day into evening, where we've gone from a powder to a shimmer, from a matte powder to a shimmer on the eyes. And it's very, very pretty. If you wanted to keep the lips soft, we can do a clear gloss on top of it, or we can add a color like Indulge, which will kind of burgundy it up a little bit. And you can apply right to the lip. Again, adding a glossy shimmer to the day look. And there you have it. Ready for anything. This is Anya, and she does have a flare-up in her complexion right now. So we're going to show if you do have acne, if you do have any sort of scarring on your face, how to create a flawless complexion. Anya has really a beautiful face, beautiful eyes, beautiful features, beautiful coloring, but she does have a little flare-up of acne on the side of her face. So let's get cracking. I'm going to do a little bit of moisturizer first. And this moisturizer has many active ingredients like antioxidant vitamins and kojic acid. The ingredient it has that would interest you is salicylic acid. It has 2% salicylic acid to help dry blemishes and keep skin blemish-free. So we've done the Ultimate Therapy Cream and moisturized your skin. People are always asking me about oil-free products. Yes, I'm going to use an oil-free concealer on you, oil-free moisturizer, oil-free foundation. However, I think people become overly obsessed with oil-free. There are very good products that are really good for acnegenic skin and to help prevent breakouts that happen to have a little bit of oil. There's good oil and there's bad oil. And I think most new products today, most formulations are made to be very skin-friendly. We're going to start with concealer around the eyes. Some people like to use the concealer as well to spot check the rest of the face if they just have like a little blemish here and there. And that's fine. You can do that. You want to use something like this that's moisturizing as opposed to something that's heavy or dry, which can make blemishes it draws more attention to blemishes. Okay. Great. So we've done some concealer. Wow. You see the difference? And we're going to set that with a little bit of powder so that it stays put. Okay, so we've set your concealer with a little powder, and now I'm going to do the liquid powder foundation on the rest of your skin. This is really the magic product. This is, it looks, as you can see, like a liquid foundation. Looks kind of funny, but it dries to a micronized powder. Very, very micronized, meaning it's the smallest particle of powder you can make.
That's not going to clog my pores?
No, very good question. Nothing in my line really will clog pores. Everything is, made to be very skin friendly. And I'm going to do, I guess, one side first, just to show the difference. And it's a silicone base, so it glides right over the skin. So you don't happen to have really bad pock marks or acne scars. If you did, however, this would glide right over it and give you a very smooth finish. And you can see on Anya's face, this side has no foundation. And you can see there's a little bit of a flare-up. I think the camera can pick that up. And on this side, look how flawless the skin looks. Truly flawless. You would never know that you had foundation on, and you'd never know that there was any sort of breakup underneath it. And I think, what could be better than that? It's a super easy step. Also, this is sort of a semi-matte finish, the foundation, because it dries to a powder. It gets a little bit dewy as your oils come out, but it's not shimmery, it's not light reflective, it's matte. The only people who should be using anything shimmery or light reflective on their skin are people who have flawless skin, because it can just make it look a little bit more flawless. But if you have any sort of acne, blemishes, discoloration, you always want to use something that has a matte, soft finish, because it just looks truly flawless. And we're going to add this to the other side now. This is used a lot on television and in magazines. A lot of actresses and models use this because you really can, if you do need heavy coverage, you can always add more, and you still have that very light feel.
Oh yeah, it was so light.
Yeah. And then I'm going to add the Alive blush. This is a matte blush, but it has a slight light reflective quality. Not shimmer, you know, which is really frosty or shimmery, but a light reflective quality, so that if you want the skin to look a little bit extra smooth, that's what it does. And this is a great color for you, because you can use this over the eyes also instead of eyeshadow. You take the blush brush, close please, and sweep it right over the eyes. And you can do again a little along the hairline. Beautiful. Wow. She's got the Alive blush on one side of her face here, over the eyes and the cheeks, and a little bit along the hairline, and it just gives a very, very healthy glow. And if someone does have issues with their complexion, this is a great way to just give a very healthy, smooth look to your skin without too many steps and without too many products also. It keeps it really, really easy. Beautiful. And we can add a little mascara to this. Great. And then we can add a little lip color just for fun. I think the Sugar Glow Face Gloss. This is for eyes, cheeks, and lips. And you can just finger it onto your eyes, cheeks, lips, and go. And this does have a little shimmer to it, but that's very pretty on the eyes. Close, please. I'm fingering it right onto your eyelids. This is kind of a champagne color called Sugar Glow. It's made with wheat germ aloe. It's really good for the skin, so you don't have to worry about it, you know, aggravating your skin condition. And then we're going to apply, I'll have you finger some right onto your lips. We're not going to use this on the cheeks because it is shimmery and we don't want to exacerbate the condition on your cheeks. But add some to your lips if you would. Just finger it right on. So just a hint of glossy color. And if you want to show the audience, thank you. A flawless complexion in a few simple steps. There you have it. Okay, we're going to fill in your eyebrows. I'm going to use the Miracle Brow to Go pencil. One side is a true brown. The other side is a very light blonde. So we're going to use just the blonde. So we're filling your brow and blonding it up at the same time. And then the blending brush is right on the cap. You want to flip the brush over, the pen over, and just brush it through. So you're left with a great looking brow.
Wow.
Blonder? Yeah, it looks
I would
really
never
good.
expect I can use blonde.
Yeah.
Blonde color.
And there you have it. Take a look.
Wow.
You people have to see this face. What could I possibly do? If everyone looked like her, I'd be out of business. But I've decided I'm going to show you some tricks for slimming the lips.
Okay.
You know, because a lot of women tell me they have issues with that. Everyone's trying to plump up their lips, and the women who naturally have full lips are always
That's
self-conscious about them.
Very true.
So we're going to show you, we don't want to make them thin because full lips really are nice, and so, but I will show you colors that will sort of tone them down a little bit.
Okay.
And then I'm going to show you just the best colors for dark skin.
Okay.
And how to play up your eyes.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's get started. Your skin is really beautiful, so you don't need a lot. We're just going to use a studio stick. It's like a foundation concealer stick.
Okay.
So this is a great way when you really do have pretty good skin and you don't need a lot of coverage. You can just use one stick for concealer around the eyes and for the rest of the face. Some people like to draw it right on the eye, like so. And this has SPF 18, which is nice for the skin. You know, anything with SPF is always better. A little bit below the eyes, and then just blend it in with your fingers. And this color is called Mochaccino Goddess, by the way. And you can use the stick just, you know, a little bit just to even out your complexion if you do feel you have a little redness, or if you're going out for the evening and just want to look a little bit more done, so to speak. You can just add a little bit You are a little darker on the forehead, and that's a very common issue for women of color, that it's not always all even. And so you can even out your skin tone by using the same one color just to make the complexion look more uniform. And you can add powder to this if you want to set it, a little insurance, like if it was for your wedding day, for example, or if you knew you were going to have a really long day, you can do a little translucent powder on top of this, but you don't have to. I'm going to put a little powder. We're going to sort of compromise with the powder, not do it all over, but I'm going to do it a little bit on the nose. And this powder looks really white, and you can see even when I apply it, it looks white on the skin, but you'll see as I blend it out, it's completely translucent, completely invisible. And I'm going to do a little bit on the eyes because we're going to add some makeup to the eyes, and you want to set the concealer. Your eyes are ginormous, so you really don't have to worry about making them bigger, but you could, you still want to play them up. I mean, it is a great feature. And I'm going to show you very simple with an eyeliner pen on the upper lash line. You could really even skip eyeshadows and just do the liner, maybe a touch of mascara on the upper lash line, and it's instant glamour. You'll look very striking with just that alone. Wow. And then a little mascara, as I said, on the upper lash line. I'm going to show you a very fast and easy way to wear the eyeshadow. You can use a color like Plum Loco. It's sort of a rich plum color. You could actually use this as a blush as well if you wanted to. With an eyeshadow brush, you can use it to contour the eyes, or if you're in a hurry, you can just take your blush brush and close your eyes, sweep it right across the eyelid in your case. And it gives you a sheer wash of color. And especially like spring, summer seasons, you want a less structured look. And also you want to spend less time. You want it to look a little bit lighter. If it was for winter, I might use an eyeshadow brush and contour a little bit with the color, use it on the crease of your eye possibly, and then mixing in other colors. But this is a great way to just apply a quick color and go. You can also use this on your cheeks, but I want to show you something a little bit dewier for the cheeks. Okay, so we're going to do the hint of a tint in a pot. This is a cream gel that's actually made for eyes, cheeks, or lips, but it's especially good on the cheeks. So again, you just dip your finger in and smile. You have it right from the apple of your cheeks right there. Just blend it right up. And it gives a very natural rosy flush of color. Okay, so now for lips, we want to do a dark color that's not too shimmery and not too glossy. This is a color called Wine, W-H-I-N-E. And it actually looks very, very dark, but it goes on as sort of a medium plum color. It's very sheer. And this way you have like a kiss of color on your lip without drawing too much attention to them. Blend your lips together and take a look.
Oh, that's good.
Nice, yeah. You can take a pencil that's a little bit darker, and the opposite of what we do when we want to make a thin lip fuller, which is we build up the lip shape. When you want to make a full lip thinner, you line the lip within the lip. Kind of making the lip, it gives the illusion of a smaller lip. It gives definition. It actually looks more dramatic, but it makes it look a little more streamlined. One last thing I want to show you. This is a very complete look, but because you do have such dark hair, I want to show you the Miracle Brow as well, because I'm always telling people that it's a universal palette. It only comes in these colors, and some people look at it and go, well, my hair is black, or I have such dark hair, it won't work on me. But I want to show you that it can actually work on you. It'll soften your brow line and make the brows look still more perfect. And you have areas that are growing in, and this sort of covers it up and just makes it look flawless as it grows in. Isn't that something? And really want to show that. See, it softened up the color of her brow on this side, makes the brow look really flawless. And you're using the same color that I use on blondes, and like really light skinned blondes. It's really interesting to see one product that works on every skin tone and every hair color. With your eye color, you can go with really a myriad of different colors on the eyes, eyeshadows. You can do grays, plums, browns, almost any color actually, as long as even blue, the dreaded blue eyeshadow, if you did it in like a sheer wash of color, like very softly, you could pull it off really well.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. So I'm today going to turn you into a bronzed goddess. We're going to make you look tan and glowy without any skin damage, without anything permanent. You know, it's something you can do every day. It's not using self-tanner, so you don't have to worry about suddenly turning orange an hour later. It's just pure makeup, and we're going to make your skin just look very glowy and golden like you've been in the sun. Let's get started with a little concealer around the eyes. Okay, so we did concealer. It's a little bit lighter than your skin tone because we want to highlight. I'm going to use the Sun Smooched bronzer. I actually have some on myself. It's a gel bronzer. It looks really scary. It looks like very dark, but when you put it on, it's very, very sheer. And it's not a self-tanner. Again, it's a makeup. It comes off at the end of the day when you wash your face. It's a gel that's made with green tea, green apple, sugarcane, citrus. It's really good for the skin. And you can either apply it right to the skin, or you can mix it with your moisturizer and then just smear it on all over. And this comes in light, medium, and dark. I'm going to do the medium on you today. This can also be used to contour also. If someone's a little heavy, you can do a little bit on the jawline and down the neck and create a little bit of depth that it's very slimming. It has a really nice slimming effect for the face. Sometimes you'll see someone where you can see the line of demarcation where the foundation ends and their skin begins. So you always want to apply a little bit, blend it down into the skin with a bronzer, because obviously the bronzer is not going to match your skin. It's going to darken your skin a little bit. And the more you apply, the more color you're layering on. So you can really intensify the color if you want. And we're going to do a little powder on top of this just to blend everything in together. And we're going to use the translucent powder, Pure Radiance. And even though it's white, it's going to you're still going to have the tan effect underneath it. Okay, and we're going to add a little eyeliner to the upper lash line. And then we're going to add a little face gloss in Inner Glow. This is a very coppery bronze color. It emphasizes the tan effect. And you can use this on your eyes, your cheeks, your lips. So it's very fast and easy as well. See, one side she's got the face gloss on her right, on the eyes and the cheeks, and one side without. And you can see how it just gives that really glowy, beautiful effect to the skin. And I'm going to put some on this side as well now on the eyes and cheeks, and then I'm going to add it to the lips as well. And I'm going to use a lip brush. And the pink of your lip shines through, so it doesn't look like it's the same color that you have exactly on your eyes and cheeks. I'm going to add a little lip pencil to add some definition. And if you wanted a more tan look, you can just, when you're doing the bronzer, just keep blending it on. So this is a very complete look. All the colors are very neutral, but you can see you're really noticing her lips because we added a lighter color on top of the face gloss. The face gloss is also on the eyes and the cheeks, but it's really emphasized with the gold gloss on the lip and a little lip pencil. Her skin, if you turn your head a little bit side to side, you can see the glowy effect, and very tan, very natural. And very polished, and that's really the idea, is just to look flawless like you've been in the sun. And you can take this off at the end of the day and start from scratch tomorrow. Daniela's going to a dinner party tonight, and so we want to do old Hollywood glamour on Daniela. She has classic features, nice big eyes, and we wanted something sophisticated and that is still festive enough for a party. So we're going to do the classic old Hollywood glamour on you today. We're going to start, since you're going to an event, you want the makeup to wear as long as possible. I'm going to use the Elixir Skin Conditioning Primer. This is a primer that makes the makeup go on smoother and wear longer. It's a silicone base, but it also has cucumber, St. John's wort to reduce redness, puffiness, safflower to firm, and apricot kernel to soften the skin. And you can feel it feels a little slick going on, but it's going to dry to a very satin finish in a moment. Next, we're going to do a little concealer all around the entire eye area. The beautiful thing about old Hollywood glamour makeup is it's very timeless and classic. It really plays up your features without a lot of complicated colors we're going to add a little powder just to set the concealer so that it stays put. In old Hollywood was used very heavy foundation to create a very flawless complexion. But we're not going to do that. We're going to use a foundation. The difference between old Hollywood and now is that foundation today can still create a very flawless complexion without feeling heavy or looking heavy. It'll just look like beautiful skin. And we apply the foundation all over since we're doing kind of a formal makeup. So we've perfected your complexion. If you want to keep a dewy look, you can just leave the foundation as is. If you want a more matte look, you can add a little powder on top of the foundation as well. Now that we've perfected your complexion, Daniela's complexion, we're going to add a dramatic eyeliner to the upper lash line. And this is really one of the key products to create a dramatic old Hollywood look, which is, dramatic eyeliner on the upper lash line. And I wet the brush a little bit. Close, please, and close lightly. Relax your eyes. Perfect. And perfect is also the name of the color, by the way. I'm not using black, which can be a little bit harsh looking. And I'm not using brown, which can look a little bit bland. I'm using a perfectly neutral mahogany color, which is sort of a mix of brown and black. And I'm still applying eyeliner as close to the lash line as possible, but I'm making it a little thicker. And it starts out thin here on the inner eye and gets a little bit thicker in the center and then tapers down to a fine point, which I extend past the outer lash line. Open, please. Beautiful. So you can see it's a kind of dramatic liner look, but it really works. It's still a very clean look. You can really almost skip the eyeshadows when you're doing this kind of old Hollywood glamour. If you don't want the line to be as dramatic, you can just keep the fine line. The overall look would be the same. Now that we've lined Daniela's eyes, we're going to do mascara on the upper lash line. And Daniela has very long eyelashes to begin with. If she didn't, I would add maybe individual false lashes to the outer half of her eye. But because her lashes are so long, a really good mascara will do the trick and still give her that glamorous effect. And I focus a little extra coat of mascara on the outer lash line. And that really opens up the eye and creates a more dramatic look. So you can really go crazy, especially since we're applying mascara only to the upper lashes. You can really go crazy, add as many coats as you want. So if you notice in the 50s, in the 40s, the 50s, they always had very dramatic eyebrows. And Daniela already has a very strong brow. She's blonde, so she has the option. She can do a light brown eyebrow if she really wanted to look kind of film noir, look very dramatic. She could do a darker brow, or if she wanted a modern day approach to filling in the brow and having extra definition, we can fill the brow but use a very blonde color. And that's what we're gonna do. And I'm using my Miracle Brow To Go pencil. And what I tell people is whatever you apply on your eyebrows, always blend it, always brush it through. So the brow looks stronger, but it's blonder as well. Now you could also skip the blush and just go for a dramatic kind of ruby lip, and that's a very complete look. But since you're going to a party and we want to have a little extra oomph and you want to look beautiful, you don't just want to look like old Hollywood, you want to look like beautiful old Hollywood. So we're going to do a little very pale pink blush on you. This blush has the scandalous name of Bitch Slap, but it's a beautiful light pink color with a sort of gold undertone. And so we're adding a little color. Close your eyes, please. You can use a little bit of the blush right over the eyes instead of eyeshadow, just a sheer wash of color. Very fresh-faced. And now we're going to add a little dramatic lip color. We're going to do a color called Ramy Red. It's kind of a rich burgundy color. If we're being accurate to that time period, lipstick was really kind of matte, creamy. So you don't want anything glossy or anything shimmery. you just want a very rich color. This lipstick happens to be just a creamy formula. It's not matte, but matte can be a little bit dry looking, and you still want your lips to look luscious. And we're using the Smile Line lip pencil. You can see it's a very dramatic, complete look. She's ready to go party, but we're going to add a little something extra to it. You can use a white highlighter. White, pink, flesh tone, anything light will work. White is the most dramatic though, because it's clean, it softens the colors. In other words, it's not adding more color to your features, so it keeps the look very clean, and it's really the most dramatic. Close your eyes, please. So we're doing white across her eyelids. And a little bit under the brow bone. And if you take a look at the camera, you can see how it wakes up her features. And then you can take a little bit of the white highlighter and highlight your cheekbones. So the choice is yours. You can do a very matte, kind of classic look, which is a little more subdued, or you can light it up, and this effect makes you kind of look lit from within. And it's all about blending. You want to make sure you don't have a line of demarcation from the cream, because it is a cream shimmer. Sometimes it's a good idea to apply a little bit more powder blush on top of it, just to make sure you don't have any lines from the cream. You can also, if you really want to go crazy with a little bit of glamorous effect, you can put a little bit of highlighter right under the center of your lower lip. This is a photographer's trick. It actually makes the lips look fuller and poutier to do a little highlight under the lip, the center of the lip. You can do a little bit on the center of the nose also. And this makes the nose look a little bit straighter, and it also just adds to the whole overall lit up effect. And there you go. Ready for the Academy Awards. Hi, this is Viola, and I took one look at her eyebrows and said, I have to do your eyebrows, because she's got great full eyebrows, but they do need a little fine tuning. And so that's what we're going to do today, is just a quick brow shaping. Do you usually get your eyebrows done?
Yeah, I wax them.
You usually get them waxed?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm famously opposed to waxing because I feel like there's no precision, and you're just indiscriminately having hairs removed. It's very harsh on the delicate skin around the eye area, the most sensitive skin, the thinnest skin on the body. So what I do is tweezing and trimming, which is, I call it a brow sculpting. It's very precise, and I always say what I leave behind is just as important as what I take out. So I like to keep eyebrows as full as possible, but with a nice arch. So that's what we're going to do today. I have the Ramy scissors by Tweezerman and the Ramy tweezer by Tweezerman, and this is my own design, and it's slanted and rounded like a regular tweezer, but there's no point on the tip. And we actually have a patent pending on this because it's super gentle on the skin, but it takes out even the tiniest little hair. It's very, very precise. The first thing I do is trim the brows. Trimming it just takes the weight out of the eyebrow. Many people need a trim, and what they actually do is try to tweeze it or wax it into shape, when really they need to start with a good trimming. And so often I see people that have very thin eyebrows, but when you brush them, the hairs are really long. And when I trim it for them, they're then able to get like a nice full shape that they never thought was possible. Okay, so now that we've trimmed the brows, I'm going to tweeze it. I'm going to shape it by tweezing. And I always pull the hairs in the direction in which they grow in. And I like to follow the natural shape of the brow, although sometimes people's brows are so full that you can't really see what the shape is, or in other words, the average person can't tell what the shape is, so it's hard to do their own brows. And when I look at someone, I can just see the finished results. Like I don't see the big hairy eyebrow. I see what it's going to look like when we're done. I'm not opposed to threading. Threading is what was done before tweezers were invented, thousands of years ago in like Eastern Europe and the Middle East. And I think, like tweezing, threading is as good as the person who's doing it. I've seen very good results and I've seen terrible results. So I really think it's all about finding the right person. I'm not opposed to threading the way I am to waxing. But my favorite technique really is tweezing and trimming because it's not the fastest, but it is, it can be as painless as any other method. And also it can, it's just truly the most precise. Really, like the only person who benefits from waxing is the person who's doing your eyebrows because it's faster and they can crank out more clients. That's really the only difference. Getting your brows done is one of those things that it just makes such a big difference on the face. And I think, especially if you're not someone who wears a lot of makeup, it's like makeup that you don't take off. So I like to keep the eyebrows as classic as possible. You don't want to look at a picture of yourself like 10 years from now and go, oh, that was the trend back then, you know, to have pencil thin eyebrows or crazy heavy man eyebrows. You always want it to look really classic. People also ask me how much they need to let their brows grow in. It's a very common question before getting them professionally done. And I always say that at least 2 to 3 weeks. You know, I often get people that come in and say, oh, I knew I was coming to see you, so I let them go, and I'm looking at them and there's like 2 stray hairs, you know, and I'm saying, well, how long, you know, when was the last time you touched them? And often they were like, oh, like I stopped about a week ago. And that's not really enough. I mean, certainly there's always room for improvement, but the ideal is to have them as hairy and bushy as possible.
So you don't advocate for tweezing at home?
I think it's good for maintenance, but the most common thing I hear when people come back, they say, quote, I was really good at keeping up my brows for a while, because I think eventually what happens, the length comes back, and or you see a couple of strays and you say, oh, I'll just get them tomorrow, and then the next day you don't remember which hair it was that needed to come out, and they end up losing the line. It's very tricky, very difficult to be objective with your own face. I think it's very easy when you're looking at someone else to say, okay, this is what they need to do with their eyebrows. But when people are looking at their own face, they tend to obsess over every little stray hair instead of looking at the big picture. I always tell people if you're going to do it at home, stand 2 feet away from the mirror and look at your whole face and then move in closer. People have a tendency to take the mirror and hold it up to their nose, you know, and they're like looking at every little tiny micro hair that no one else sees but them. And so it's very important to keep your objectivity. And but you know, to answer the question, I think most people are pretty good for keeping it up for a while. Often people think they're doing a very good job. I had a woman recently who I had been doing her brows for a few months before her wedding to prepare for the big day, and they looked fantastic. And I didn't see her for a few months after the wedding, and then she finally came back and she said she thought she was doing a great job with her eyebrows, but then she saw her wedding pictures and realized they looked nothing like her wedding pictures, and so she realized she had to get them done professionally again. Okay, so we have one eyebrow done and one not done, and so I want to show the audience. This side is shaped, obviously, and the other side is trimmed a little bit, but not yet shaped. And you can see it's sort of like an eye lift on one side. You look very polished, you have a nice arch, it's still full, and it just looks like a great eyebrow. And not overly thin, not misshaped, there's no hook, there's, you know, a lot of good stuff going on with that eyebrow. And I should show you also. Well, you can see in the big mirror, but you can take a closer look here.
Pretty good. I like the lift.
Yeah, lifting is good.
Yeah,
It's a good habit to get into even if you are young, because you are very young, but it's a good, even when I do makeup, I always show everybody how to lift everything, because you just want, it's always much more flattering at any age. Okay, so now let's get this brow done. Turn it a little bit towards. Another issue this is reminding me of is that symmetry is a big issue with eyebrows, and I would say almost every single person that's ever gotten in my chair to get their brows done, the first thing they say to me is, my eyebrows aren't symmetrical, I have 2 different eyebrows, can you fix it as much as possible? And the answer is no one is perfectly symmetrical. I've only seen someone who once in my life that had perfectly symmetrical eyebrows, and I think it was a famous actress, and I think she had her eyes done and had them surgically align her eyebrows so they were like a mirror image of each other, and it looked very strange because no one is perfectly symmetrical. It doesn't look human to have them like be exact mirror images of each other. However, you can create the illusion of symmetry a little bit to make them look more even. And that's easy to do on most everyone. And again, the fuller they are, the easier it is to make them look symmetrical. I think getting a good brow shaping is next to plastic surgery. It's the most dramatic way to alter your appearance, short of going platinum blonde or something with your hair. It can really, really change your face and make you look more sophisticated, younger, more polished, and certainly more beautiful. I mean, it really just does. It's the difference between looking okay and looking really perfect is a good brow shaping. It always makes me crazy when I see in stores, when I'm like doing an in-store event at a department store, and I see other brands doing makeup, and someone has eyebrows that like go down to their eyelashes, and they just sort of cover it up with makeup, with eyeshadow, and it's just so wrong. I'm like, how could they let her walk away that way? It really is like the canvas and the frame for the face. And we're almost there. And if you're looking for a brow expert, if you're not going to someone who's really renowned for eyebrows or that you've read about, the best way to find someone good to shape your brows is word of mouth. If you have a friend that has really great eyebrows, ask them where they get their brows done. Or, of course, there's always places that as I said, are renowned for brows. That's always your best bet. But word of mouth is great also, and if you do see someone who has great eyebrows, ask them. Not everyone lives in a big city where they have access to services like this. In smaller towns, I always tell people to find the best hotel and ask the concierge what the best place is in town. And I want you to take a look at the camera, and then we're going to fill them in very lightly just to show you the difference.
I don't look surprised.
You don't look surprised, you just look like you have magnificent eyebrows. And there we have it.
Thank you for the
Jonshi has a couple of makeup issues we're going to discuss today, and we're going to remedy today as well. One of her issues is that she wears glasses, and she feels that, like many people who wear glasses, she feels that what's the point of wearing makeup? No one sees my eyes behind my glasses anyway. I disagree with that. I think that even with glasses, people will see eye makeup underneath. If you do enhance your features, it will show through. So that's just one of the issues. Let's take off the glasses for now, and we'll come back to them at the end. The other issue is she's just not a makeup person. She doesn't like wearing makeup, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and she wants to keep it to a minimum. So we're gonna do super ultra natural makeup on Junshi, and then I'm gonna turn it up a notch and go into a classic day face, which involves a few more steps. So we're gonna start with like makeup 101, like a really, really, really natural, easy makeup. Take it up a notch into a classic day face, and then at the end we're gonna go a little bit crazy, and we're gonna do like a really runway ready, ultra glam look, just for fun. I do see a little bit of flare-up on the complexion. So usually if you didn't have a flare-up on your complexion, I would just do like a little bit of powder on the face, which is really very fast, very easy, or I would use a foundation stick around the eyes and the face just to keep it very simple and easy. In Junshi's case, what's not necessary really is concealer. And that's very unusual because 9.9 out of 10 people really need concealer. It makes a dramatic difference on their face. But her eyes are not deep set at all, and she's young. She doesn't really have dark circles or redness around the eyes, so she really can skip the concealer and just do foundation. So we're applying foundation. You can feel how light this is. It actually dries to a micronized powder. And you can really focus it just where you need it. If you're using the correct color foundation, you don't need to do a full face. You can apply it just where you need it and go. We're going to do a little bit of mascara on the upper lashes. If you really have an adversity to wearing mascara, you can use a clear mascara or a mascara that just has a slight tint to it, and that's will give you a less made up look. I'm using a black mascara. So now we have just one more step to complete Junshi's look. I'm using my Hint of a Tint Miracle blush. It's also called the Hint of a Tint Multiple Stick because you can use this on your eyes, your cheeks, your lips. It looks like a rich burgundy color, but it's actually really gives just what it says, a hint of a tint. And it's a fast, easy way to basically play up her features without a fussy routine or using multiple products. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a little bit on the eye and just blend it out. And it's going to give a natural rosy flush of color. Draw it on the cheek and blend it out with your finger. And on the lip, you're using it like a giant tinted lip balm. This is like the super minimal 30-second makeup. Blind people can apply this on themselves. It's really, it does not get any easier than this, and it looks great. You just look fresh-faced and polished. The complexion looks good, the features are played up, and what more could you ask for? And now we're going to go into a classic day look. Many Asian women actually ask me about creating more of a lid look, you know, more of a rounded eye. And I'm from the school of you can do one of two things. You can do what we did here with the Hint of a Tint, which is just a sheer wash of color, which basically is just enhancing the feature as it is. It's not changing anything, and it's very pretty. But if you did want to do a more dramatic look and you wanted to add more color, go into a classic day look, you can do the perfect eye wand. You can take a shadow. You can use a powder eyeshadow, or if you really want to keep it simple still, you can use a stick shadow like the perfect eye wand. This is a very neutral color. What's great about this for what we're about to do is this color is the color of shadow. So it's not blue, it's not brown, it's not pink. It's actually the color of shadow and light. So we're going to create a little depth by drawing it right on the crease of the eye, like so. And you can see where I'm drawing it. When I blend it out, it's just going to look like a natural crease. And then we can add a little eyeliner from the other side of the wand. And you'll notice so far we haven't used anything that requires even one brush. We can also do a little bit of the liner on the lower lash line if you want a more dramatic look. Look up please at the ceiling. And I draw it as though like right on top of the lower lash line. So it's enhancing her lash line. Very simple, but it really brings out the eyes. Take a look. And this again is a very complete look. If we want to amp it up a little bit more for the classic day look and take it up from the minimalist look, we can also enhance the lips a little bit. Now we can do a lipstick, which you can just slap on from the tube, or we can do a lip gloss. And I think for someone who really doesn't use makeup wholeheartedly, we can find a nice color in lip gloss that's just pretty and easy to use. And I'm going to use a color called Indulge on you. It looks dark, but it actually goes on very light. It's a rich color, but it goes on lightly because it's a gloss. And you can put this right on top of the Hint of a Tint. So let's say that the minimal 30-second look was enough for you for during the day, but you're going out after work and you want to amp up your look, you can just add these steps. Voila. Okay, well now that you look so daytime fabulous, I want you to try on your glasses again. Because remember how you said that you didn't think it was really, like you didn't need to bother wearing makeup because you felt like people don't see the difference behind your glasses.
Wow.
Yeah, people can see the difference. You see your eyes are more defined and they're popping a little bit more. And even if, your glasses don't have very heavy frames, they're kind of frameless, but even if they did have heavy frames, you really do see the eyes through glasses, and that's what's important. You don't need to do heavier makeup, you don't need to do more dramatic makeup, but you just want it to be the same makeup you would have with or without glasses, and the difference will show up when you put your glasses on. Now let's lose the glasses again and get you ready for the runway. Now we're going to amp it up and really go for all-out glamour. One of the things we're going to do is amp up the foundation a little bit and make a more flawless complexion. The runway is like theater, so you really want a more theatrical look. This is the time where you're really using makeup, you're using it as a theatrical tool to create an effect. And it's not about looking natural, it's about creating the look that the designer wants. And I'm going to use a heavier foundation as well, a foundation concealer stick around the eyes also, just to amp it up a little bit more and create again a more flawless look. We're going to set this with a little powder because the makeup has to stay put, and also because it's runway and it's sweaty and it's hot and it's rushed. You want to have the insurance of having powder to make sure that the foundation and concealer will stay on. First thing we're going to do is add colors to your eyes. I'm going to use the Drama Queen Cream Quad, which you can do a natural effect with this or a dramatic effect. So we're going to go for something kind of dramatic. Right, I'm going to use a small brush. We're going to apply false lashes on Junshi. Okay, close your eye please. I'm just going to set this on and see how it looks without any adhesive. Open please. Okay, this actually kind of works, especially because this is for the runway, so we're not going to trim it, but we are going to make the whole line a little bit shorter to fit her eye. And I use my little scissors that I use for shaping eyebrows, and I'm just going to take a little bit off the outer edge. So you can see now it matches the length of her eye and adds kind of an instant glamour to her appearance. Some people do eyelash extensions now, which last for several days, but false lashes are a really fast and easy way to make an instantly glamorous look to your eye and then take it off at the end of the evening. Some false lashes come with a little adhesive, a little tube of adhesive, and others just come with the lashes and you can buy the adhesive separately. On your cheeks, I'm going to add a really pink shimmery stick for color. And then I'm going to add a little luminosity highlighter, so when the light hits you, you just look like you have the most dramatic cheekbones ever. We're going to add a little Sheer Joy lipstick. It's like just a very true red sheer lipstick. And we're going to line the lips a little bit. Once you've applied false eyelashes, you can add more mascara. And the mascara will bond your lashes to the false lashes so that they'll stay put better. One thing I want to show to illustrate is how changing the shape of the brow or the color of the brow can transform a look. So if I just fill in her natural brow as is, the same shape as her actual brow. She'll look terrific. But if I drew, for example, if I drew them way up here, a little bit of a dragon lady, that would create a whole different effect to the entire look. I'm gonna go somewhere in between. I'm gonna draw on her natural brow, and then maybe make it more of a straight line going up. Again, she wouldn't do this in her real life, but for runway, you can achieve a look. Voila. Half the job is done. She's got the makeup on, she's got a great look going. Now it's all about attitude. So you have to get out there and give it your all. This is Tiffany, who works with us at Ramy's Spa. What I want to show you today is how to do a great smoky eye. Everyone has a different idea of what does it mean for the eye to be smoky. Does it mean just a little smudged eyeliner? Is it, does it have to be black? Does it have to be like a blackened eye all the way around the eye? What is a smoky eye? So I'm going to show a smoky eye today that's really wearable and easy to do for everyone. Okay, first step, we're going to do a little concealer on you all around the eye. And we have to create the canvas. This is an important step because you want the eye makeup to show up, and people often apply makeup, as I always say, without concealer. They basically just slap on the eye colors like shadows and eyeliner and then wonder why it doesn't look as good as when it's professionally applied. The secret truly is concealer, adding it as a primer and also to just bring the eye forward, get rid of dark circles and redness, makes all the difference. Open your eye, please. Look how highlight that eye looks compared to the other one. Okay, this is really dramatic. The redness is gone, dark circles are gone. You can really see the beautiful shape of her eyes. And you can imagine when you're looking at this, if I applied eyeshadows and eyeliner and so on each of her eyes, how much better it would look on the side with concealer than the side without concealer. So that's a really important step in doing any makeup routine. But since we're focusing on the eyes, it's especially important for this. And after we do the concealer, I'm going to fill in your eyebrows with Miracle Brow, and then we'll set the whole thing with powder. And you have really nice big eyes, so you really need a good frame to fully frame those big eyes. It really makes a big difference for the whole face. And we brush through the Miracle Brow. Look at you. So you can see one side with Miracle Brow and one side without. And what a dramatic difference it makes. It might look a little too dramatic to the audience watching this because Tiffany has no other makeup on. So really right now the focal point is the filled eyebrow on her face. Once we do other makeup, it'll blend in completely and not look quite so severe. The nice thing about Miracle Brow is it really adheres to the skin until you take it off. So you could even go swimming with it on and it will stay put. The less hair you have on your brow, the less you need to brush it through. And actually the color looks really good on you, but we can tone it down with a little bit of powder as we set your concealer with the powder. Close, please. Just go right over the brow. It makes it look more like real eyebrow too. And your complexion is really beautiful. You really don't need foundation. I could do just the powder over the whole face, but since it's just a liquid powder foundation, I'm going to do just a touch of it. And this is the same feel and finish as a powder, but the coverage of a foundation. So it's a nice compromise. Beautiful. And you'll notice now that we've done the foundation how much your eyes are really popping, like you can really see your eyes. And that's definitely part of doing a smoky eye, is you want the eyes to stand out as much as possible. And here's Tiffany with concealer, foundation, and a little bit of Miracle Brow to fill in her eyebrows. So this is our canvas. We're now ready to begin to do a smoky eye. And I'm going to show you first how to do a smoky eye for daytime. Something very fast, very easy, and very wearable for everybody. And that involves the Perfect Eye Wand. We do the liner on the upper lash line, and you have really strong, big lids, which is a good thing. You can do a really thick line if you wanted to and pull it off really well. Here's Tiffany with one eye lined, and you can see we kind of just went right along the lash line on the upper lash line and extended a little past the outer eye because she also has really big eyes and we want to emphasize the shape. Think Audrey Hepburn, you know, great, like Audrey Hepburn type eyes. And I'll do the other side first. I start the liner basically where the eyelashes begin and extend it a little past the outer eye. You could take it in closer if you wanted to. But now keeping it very simple, again, Smoky Eye 101, we're gonna open this neutral shadow on the other end of the perfect eye wand and draw it right across the whole eye. The whole eyelid, that is. And take a look at this. One eye with liner and shadow, creating a very smoky effect on her lid. You can blend out, kind of smudge up the liner for an extra smoky effect. You can darken it if you want to, but if you really just want a basic smoky eye, this is a great way to do it. Let's do the other side, and then I'll show you how to make it even more dramatic. Using a pen like this one, like the perfect eye wand, is really the fastest, easiest way to go. Wow, beautiful. This is a very sultry look. I'm gonna add a little mascara first to the upper lash line to complete Smoky Eye 101. So this is a very complete look. We did the liner on the upper lash line, the shadow on the lids, and mascara on the upper lash line. This is what I call Smoky Eye 101. It's very basic. These are colors that would work on anyone, from the lightest coloring to the darkest skin tone. If what you have on is 101, we're going to show you now 102. And I recommend this only if your eyes are medium to large size. On a smaller eye, I would keep just Smoky Eye 101 because you want the eyes to look as large as possible. I'm using, again, the perfect eyeliner as close to the rim of your inner eye as possible. So you can show the audience one eye with liner on the lower lash line and one without. And you can see it's becoming a more dramatic look. Okay, and now I'm going to use the same shadow side that I used on the eyelid. And I'm going on the outer half of the eye, right on top of the liner, and smudging it a bit. Ooh. And take a look at that. So now we've got the shadow and the liner on the lower lash line, and that is a true smoky effect. If you want to make it a little more dramatic still, you can do two things. One is take a little more concealer to clean up, you know, under the eye and kind of highlight it. You want to be careful not to go too close to the line because you don't want to wipe away the shadow or the liner by accident. The second thing you can do is add a little bit of mascara to the lower lash line. So I'm going to wipe down the mascara wand a little bit so we don't get too much mascara on the lower lash line. And then look up, please. I'm going to do just a little bit because this is, in fact, a smoky effect. Should be really all around the whole eye. This is a very smoky eye on Tiffany. And now I'm going to show you how to dress it up. If the eyes are smoky, they're obviously the feature most focused on the face because it's drawing all the attention to her eyes, which is great. And we've used kind of matte shadow it's got a very subtle shimmer to it, but it's not shimmery really. So the look is very matte and very smoky and dramatic. You can add shimmer to it if you want to take it into evening. But first I want to show you the makeup you should be wearing on the rest of your face with a smoky eye. One is a neutral blush, like my Alive blush. It's very neutral and glowy. It's not pink, it's not rosy. You don't want to compete with the smoky eye. So we do just a little bit of the Alive blush on the cheeks. You can add a little bit of the Alive onto the crease of her eye for a very glowy effect on the eye, but it's still a smoky eye. And you can see that glowy effect, but it just looks like healthy, natural glow. It doesn't look like she's wearing a lot of makeup. And on the lip, you want to do a nude lip so as not to compete with the eye makeup. If I did a very dramatic lip color on her with the very smoky eyes, it would be way too much. And you could do this with a richer pencil or with a lighter pencil. We're going to do it with a lighter pencil. And the color looks really, really nude on you, but don't let that scare you because we're going to put a little clear gloss on top and it's going to really bring it to life. And then we're going to add the clear Tula gloss, and that's really going to bring this lip color to life. but still light enough that it's not competing with the smoky eye. Take a look at Tiffany. She's got the nude lip and nude blush, a little bit of the blush over the eyes also, and the very smoky eye. So this is a great makeup to wear with a smoky eye as well. You don't want too much color, you don't want to look overly made up, so you want to keep the rest of the face very clean and subdued and nude, and that way the focal point remains on the eyes and you don't look overdone. And I'm going to show you how to take this look into evening in a simple step. We're going to add a little bit of the cream quad to your eye, and you can do like a plum, a silver, a brown color, anything dark and rich, really, across the eyelid. We've just added the dark brown from the Classic Beauty Cream Quad to her eyelid on one eye, and you can see how much more dramatic it looks. So this is a smoky eye for evening now. And I'm gonna do the same color on the other eye, and then add a little of the vanilla highlighter under the brow bone. Well, you can also add a little bit to the cheeks, just to give you that really nice glow to the skin. And there you have it. Voila. This is Ella, and today we're going to show on Ella how to create a younger look on more mature skin. I want to show you the things to avoid and the things to look for in trying to achieve a younger and more youthful appearance. One of the first things I use actually is my freeze frame. This is sort of like Botox in a jar. It's a wrinkle solution cream, and it fills the lines like spackle, actually, so it makes an instant difference in the skin, and you'll feel a dramatic firming. And this should be the first thing to touch your skin, because you want it to actually work. If you put a moisturizer first or anything else first, you're sort of creating a barrier between the freeze frame and your skin. And you're supposed to apply the freeze frame, leave it for 2 minutes, and then reapply. And you can put some on the forehead. It's also really great between the brows. I got rid of my little frown mark between the eyebrows with the freeze frame. And now I only use it. I used it every day for a couple of days, and now I only use it once a week, maybe, whenever I feel like the frown mark is coming back. If someone has lines around the lips, on the upper lip, it's great for diminishing that as well. But this can also be used as a preventative measure. It's okay to use moisturizer on top of the freeze frame because that won't dilute the freeze frame in any way. So this is the Ultimate Therapy Cream. It's a moisturizer that has every antioxidant vitamin known to mankind, soy protein, rose extract, coenzyme Q10, salicylic acid, kojic acid. It's got everything but SPF in it because some people find SPF to be irritating. And now that we've done that, we're going to do a little concealer around the eyes. And then we want to do a foundation. This one is very light. It's my Diva Creme Fraiche liquid powder. And you want just a little bit to even out the complexion. You don't want it to look heavy or obvious. And now we're going to do a dark eyeliner on the upper lash line, and this is really going to lift your eyes. And you don't want to use black because black can be very aging and harsh. And brown sometimes doesn't have enough impact. So you want to do a very dark brown or a mahogany color. The perfect color I'm using right now is sort of a combination of brown and black. Open, please. Wow. Okay, you don't want anything on the lower lash line to drag the eyes down. A little black mascara to the upper lash line only. Look right in the mirror. You can do as many coats as you want. The more you apply, the more you're lifting your eye. Mascara on the lower lash line will just draw attention to any fine lines, bags, wrinkles, things we don't want to draw attention to. And it also visually will drag the eyes down. So it's best to avoid mascara on the lower lash line. This is what I call my anti-gravity makeup routine. Everything goes up. Two things that disappear as you get older are the brow line and the lip line. They both get thinner. So filling in the brow line and the lip line can add years to a person's features. We want to stay in the realm of reality, so we're going to use a blonde pencil to soften her brow line, but also make the shape stronger. See the difference? So a brow line can be made to look strong. It doesn't mean it has to be dark. That's a very common mistake. People use colors that are too dark for their eyebrows, and it looks very obvious. And it doesn't look like a strong eyebrow, it just looks like a filled in, like a made up looking eyebrow. So you really want a color that's one shade lighter than your hair color. And when it comes to eyeshadows and blush, you want to avoid shimmery colors, you want to avoid anything too glossy, and you want to keep it very matte and soft. So I'm going to use my Alive blush. It's matte, and it can have a light reflective appearance, that's fine, but you want to avoid really shimmery products. With the blush brush, I'm going to sweep it right over the eyes. And then we're going to take the same blush and we're going to apply it to your cheeks. And with the blush, it's very important, you want this to be the strongest point of color on the high part of the cheekbone. Same reason as you do a dark liner on the upper lash line, you want this to be the strongest point of color, so when someone looks at you, their eye is unconsciously drawn upwards. So you start from the apple of the cheek and then just go straight up and always sort of clean off the brush up here by the eyes. You can take this particular blush also and do a little bit along the hairline just to give yourself a youthful glow. And then if you want to contour your jawline a little bit, you can take this, because it's a warm earth tone, you can just do a little bit along the jawline, blending downwards. And this has a very slimming effect and is very youthful. If you're self-conscious, you don't want to look like you have blush along your jawline, you can take a little translucent powder and go over it with the translucent powder. And with the powder, you just go over it. You're not wiping it off, but you're just blending it in so that it looks natural and not like you have makeup along your jawline. Then lips. This is always a big issue with more mature women. Some women feel washed out with brown-based lipsticks. They feel they need a brighter color. I say brighter colors are great, and you should use them because a bright color can really wake up your entire face. Even if everything is like warm earth tones, if you use a bright lipstick, it really can be very youthful. I'm going to use a gloss also because a gloss is also moisturizing, and it makes the lips look very juicy and moist. And a moist lip is a youthful lip. So this is a bright color called Hot Flash. And it looks great on you. And then I'm going to build up the lip a little bit with a pencil. And the reason we want to do that is, as I said earlier, you want to make the lips and the brow line a little bit fuller to give you a more youthful appearance. So I do gloss first so I can see exactly where we need the pencil, where we need to build up the lip. I stay in what I call the realm of reality. I stay on the lip line, but with an eye towards fullness. There you have it. Beautiful. This is Lauren, our intern at Ramy Spa. Today I'm going to show Lauren how to do a 30-second makeup. People always tell me they're not, if they're not into makeup, they never wear makeup, they're intimidated by makeup, they don't want to do a complicated routine, they feel like they're not a makeup artist, so they don't want to try even doing a complicated routine. So I'm going to show you how you can take 2, maybe 3 products and completely transform your look and look polished and beautiful. So we're going to start with the Porcelain Doll Studio Stick. This is foundation and concealer in one. And I'm going to apply it around your eye and just cover up a little bit of redness you have going on. And I go all around the whole eye up to the brow bone. And then you can use the Studio Stick anywhere on the face where you want to perfect your complexion. Okay, I did one side of your face here. So you can see Lauren has one side of her face. We got rid of the redness around the eye with the Studio Stick and perfected her complexion a little bit. And since I did it on one side, I'm going to do it on the other. Okay, great. And then you can do either a multiple stick in a color, or you can do a face gloss, any multiple product that you can use in eyes, cheeks, and lips. Let's do the Face Candy face gloss, because that's a really pretty color. It's kind of a berry shimmer, works well on any skin tone, and it's like finger paint for your face. You just finger it on your eyes, cheeks, lips, and go. And then I want you to finger it onto your lips. And you could do this in also like warm earth tones, in colors like Inner Glow or Sugar Glow. If you wanted a less made up look. You have the studio stick, the face gloss, and a little mascara. And that's it. And this is a very finished, polished look. She's ready to go anywhere from the gym or to go out dancing or anything in between. And it's really fast and easy, and it's all anyone really needs.
Every day is so wonderful. Suddenly, it's hard to breathe. Now and then, I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way.
I hope this DVD, and possibly this book, will help you achieve a signature look and a personal style that you'll embrace for years to come.